So let's take a look at the trend signals that we have on our new indicators. This currently is showing us a sell signal. This is a red arrow showing the sell signal. If you look back earlier today, we had a green signal here at 11:30 Central Time, and so now we're getting a sell signal at 13:35. So been in this trade for a little while. We had some choppiness midday, but this resolved to the upside. This yellow bar here shows you basically the stop you could potentially use if you already entered this as a short here. This is not a confirmed long or short signal until it finishes that candle. You can see it just went from a short to continued into long because it didn't reach the threshold. It didn't close where it needed to close, and so those things can flip just real quick, just like you just saw right there. That was a great example of what this does. We're looking at the ES futures, the S&P 500. So we're still in the buy signal, and now this is your support or your stop at 39.70. And so a lot of times what I use this because that area will be tested like it just did on this previous candle. That's why it started to flip. And sometimes it might show you the signal to start with and then flip right back before it closes on that mark. So that was right at the 40-minute mark. It flipped back because the price rose up past that threshold. So the threshold has a variance in it, and so when you see those signals, it may be showing you an early signal until that candle is completed on that time. It's not a confirmed signal. So you could have them, and then sometimes these signals go back to back. Like here was a sell, and then 3 candles later it was a buy. So you just kind of have to understand your risk tolerance for these things. So I use, if that was going to be a short and the stop was up here, you can use that as a stop or a potential area to actually short it because it'll these zones get retested a lot of times. Or you use the last pivot. So you would have used 39.80. In other words, if it broke to a new high, you would get stopped out of that short. The same thing would have probably occurred right here. When it went long, you could have used the pivot down here at 39.42 or just under this volume weighted average price, that's the yellow band, for a stop. And so that's how I tend to use this indicator and how it works with that yellow line. This is configurable. So if you right click on it, hit edit study, edit your trend, you can actually configure some of the components of this to show a bubble, all this different stuff. You can actually increase the support line to be, say, 15 bars long. So you can see it back in price action. So I'll show you this. So as you do that, you can see how that bar got extended all the way out here. And so sometimes that's helpful for some people to see where it is and adjust it to other pivots and so forth. So you can see now the stop is actually above this last pivot low. So this is making higher highs as it goes through. So that's just a couple triggers that you want to use. You can, add the bubble on there if you want. If you want a larger arrow, you can increase that. I think that goes to max about 5. So that makes the arrow bigger, or you can make it smaller. Now it's tiny little arrows right there. So I like the bigger ones so you can see it. Hit a 5 or a 3 or so. And then if you wanted to, you can actually paint the bars like this and hit apply. And so then that paints the bars. So this bar, it's kind of hard because they're dual paintings here. So if you do paint the bars, it conflicts with some of the other scripts. Just so be aware. But now you see it's on a green. Green bars mean it's on a buy. A red bars means it's on a sell. So, and this looks a little confusing. It looks orange because that's in this band of this cloud. So anyways, the support line is configurable here. And like I said, you can change the width of it if you want it to be smaller like this. Now it's just a smaller line. You can change the length of it by changing this guy to 4 or 5 or so, and now it's smaller like that. Like if I wanted the color to change, I can change that to an orange. So now I've got an orange signal. And then now if I want it 5, now I got a fat orange signal. So whatever you want to do, it's all configurable for you for that signal and then where that bar is. I leave it in my bar usually on a 5 signal, just so I can see where the support. You think of it as a support line. If it flips past that support line, it's going to trigger the signal one way or the other. Okay, hope that's helpful.